a place that everyone wants to stay away from, but no one can avoid it completely. The word Shamshan evokes some fear and some respect. Interestingly, as per the descriptions we find of Tantric deities in various mythological texts, they are often found roaming in Shamshan. According to our general beliefs, gods reside in heaven, sit on clean thrones, but Tantric gods and goddesses often do not adhere to those puritanical traditions. Situations have changed a lot these days, but in the distant past, cremation grounds were frightening places. It used to be the favorite place of animals and birds like jackals and vultures. Folklores also create the idea that such places are haunted by sinful souls and various evil entities. Householders did not go near those places unless completely necessary. So the question is, what was the significance of cremation ground in ancient Indian traditions? Why do Tantric gods choose such unusual and frightening places as their wandering ground? I will discuss this in this video. Please stay tuned. If any deity is very deeply associated with the word Shamshan, then that would be Goddess Kali. We are familiar with two different aspects of Goddess Kali. One is Bama Kali, the other one is Dakshina Kali. Of all the forms worshipped in Bengal, the Dakshina Kali form is probably the most popular one, where the right foot of the goddess rests on Mahadev's chest. This form is called Pratyaya Lirhapada, and if the left foot is forward, then the goddess is Alhirapada. Dakshina Kali is a loving mother. According to one theory, the south is the direction of Yamraj, so it symbolizes death. But worshippers of goddess Kali can defeat that death as well. In this form, the goddess is usually worshipped by householders. Bama Kali, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of what Dakshina Kali is. In simple terms, she is the personification of destruction and death. In the case of Bama Kali, the left leg of the goddess rests on the chest of Mahadev. This form is not usually worshipped in the household. Tantrikas and sadhakas usually worship this form in secluded places like Shamshan. Hence, this form of the goddess is sometimes called Shamshan Kalika. It is believed that if the goddess steps forward with her left leg and takes her kharga in her hand, she becomes Samhar Kali, the form feared by all evil forces in the world. Of the many explanations for why the goddess's feet rest on Lord Shiva's chest, the most important to me is the influence of Shankha philosophy. Shankha philosophy holds that God exists in two forms, Saguna and Nirguna. Nirguna Ishwar or Purusha is beyond the limits of our knowledge. Corpse like Mahadev is that Nirguna Purusha. On the other hand, Goddess Kali, armed with various weapons, is the Saguna Ishwar, who represents nature. Prakriti is the form of God which is active and which the living being can perceive through his or her senses. We all probably know that there is a practice of sadhana sitting in the burning ground. But why would a person choose such a place for sadhana if there are so many other options? It is believed that places like Shamshan end body-centric self-identity. That is the place where humans face the ultimate reality. When the body, which is the center of self-identity, meets its end, humans learn to focus his or her mind on the soul and start their spiritual journey. That's why sadhakas choose this place for deep meditation. The Katha Upanishad mentions that the soul is eternal, imperishable, it can't be created, and it's formless. In the Bhagavad Gita, the transition of the soul from one body to another is compared to a change of clothes. Bearing a few exceptions like the Charvaka philosophy, it can be roughly said that Hinduism believes in the theory of reincarnation. And for this reason, the dissolution of the body into the Pancha Bhuta or 5 elements of nature is considered essential. Cremation after death is not accepted in most religious cultures. Hinduism, on the other hand, not only supports cremation but considers it very important. The reason behind this is that Hinduism believes in the concept of reincarnation. After death, the soul leaves the old body and enters a new one to start a new journey. But as we all know, human beings are emotional creatures. As long the once cherished body remains intact, it becomes difficult for the soul to leave it for good. That is why the dead body is usually cremated within a day to liberate the soul. And this is why cremation is a symbol of liberation. Goddess Kali also gives salvation. With her sword, she destroys our pride and liberates us. Whatever philosophy says, Shamshan is a place of fear in common belief. Devi Kali is also terrifying. It is believed that Shamshan Charini Devi is surrounded by foxes, ghosts, and otherworldly entities like Dakinis and Yoginis. The Mundaka Upanishad first mentions Goddess Kali, where she is one of the 7 tongues of Agni. She only accepts Ahuti. No glimpse of her motherly nature is found there. Later, she manifested as Goddess Kali, the principal goddess of the Shakta Tantra, the first of the 10 Mahavidyas. The Dakshina Kali idol worshipped today was envisioned by Krishnananda Agamvagish. Earlier, the goddess was worshipped through yantra, which is nothing but the symbol of the goddess. But in Devi Mahatyam, when talking about the origin of goddess Kalika from the eyebrows of goddess Ambika, she is seen in a completely unknown form. There she is described as Vichitra Khattanga Dhara, Mundamala Vibhushita, Deepi Charma Paridhana, Shushka Mangshati Bhairava. Her skinny body made her even more terrifying. This form of Devi Kalika is known as Chamunda. We have to remember that gods, goddesses, and mythological legends are actually symbols and messages. Rather than taking the details we find in mythology literally, it is more reasonable to try to understand and absorb the underlying meaning, message, and teachings. In the name of Goddess Kali, the reason for her being unconventional and terrifying is hidden. She who is above and beyond time is Kali. She existed before creation and will continue to exist even after the destruction of all things. Shamshan is also a symbol of the end. Shamshan is all about harsh reality. It creates a sense of separation. That detachment gives us the ability to endure both worldly happiness and sorrow, and gives us the ability to rise above them. The universe works rhythmically. From living things to inanimate objects, everything revolves around the cycle of creation, sustenance, and destruction. After destruction, new creation takes place. That's why destruction was not looked down upon in ancient Indian philosophy. Rather, it was glorified somewhere, because sometimes to initiate positive changes, the destruction of evil becomes necessary. All the gods and goddesses have shouldered the responsibility of destruction from time to time. Yet, when we think about cosmic destruction, Goddess Kali is the one who comes to our mind. Khargahasta Mundamala Vibhushita Bhima Rudhira Priya. Hence, her association with the Shamshan is undeniable. Ending here as of today. If you are interested in mythology, history, and culture, then please subscribe to Sepia Diaries. Also, you can follow me on Instagram if you want. See you soon.